What's up guys, it's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we're going to be taking a look at the What's Next in Raid update 4.9 that Plarium is getting ready to drop in the game. It's been a crazy couple of days with the information on the dupe system getting leaked, and of course Plarium's had some interesting responses to that. Obviously you guys know I am in the content creator program with Plarium, and they straight up came out and told us we were not allowed to make videos about it. We were not allowed to speculate about anything. I also want to throw up this announcement that they made today. This is like the official announcement about the update, where they basically come out and said, they're like, we'd like to thank the content creators who maintained their silence according to regulations of the official content creator program agreement, despite growing interest to the hot topic. It was not easy to stay silent when the community was buzzing. Thank you guys for sticking with us on this one. We appreciate very much your patience and heroic steadfastness. I gotta be honest with you guys, when I read that this morning, it was to me almost like, let's throw the content creators under the bus and make it seem like they're on our side 100% with all this stuff going on. And that, coupled with the way they told us we couldn't talk about anything over the weekend, considering the information was already out and already being talked about on Reddit, people were already making videos that aren't in the content creator program. I'm just going to sleep on it tonight, but I was very, very strongly considering dropping out of the content program today just due to this little message here. That and the way they called Scratch and Hell Hades out last week in their little official video, like, oh, they gave wrong information. It's like, well, it's not our fault you guys can't communicate this crap to the community. So I just didn't really like the way they tried to make it look like we content creators are in league with them, because it's not the case for most of us. I've been pretty critical of Plarium a lot of the times and really don't like it when anybody tells me what I can and cannot say. So being a lowly tier 1 content creator, the rewards, trust me, are not what's keeping me there. I really just stay in the program more for the resources we get to make thumbnails and stuff. There's really hardly any benefit besides that. So I don't know, I'm gonna sleep on it and think about it a little bit. We'll see how they act in the next couple of weeks, but I was really kind of turned off by all of that this weekend, and then especially when they come out and make this official announcement trying to make it look like content creators are, we're maintaining silence for them. I don't know, it was a bad look for me. I didn't really like how they did that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on and take a look at the update that's going to be coming up. I'm not really going to go over everything because everyone else has already done that. I'm going to talk about the areas that kind of interest me the most, or that I have issues with, mainly the dupe system and some of the stuff that's going to be coming along with the Hydra update for the newer clan boss. I will say that the quality of life changes look pretty good. The Guardian Ring looks like kind of an interesting area that they're going to be changing the sparring pit over from. We can just go ahead. I'm just going to jump through their video here. I'm not going to actually play through it, but you can see here the Guardian Ring is going to be replacing the sparring pit. Kind of looks a little bit nicer. And when you go in there, you'll still have access to your sparring pit, so that's not going away. But they basically, they went over the faction guardians again, where you're going to be able to use your duplicate rares, epics, and legendaries to basically go through and beef up your factions, get them more stats for your different champions in those factions. You see sparring pit at the top, faction guardian system. You got the empowerment, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit more. The unbinding champions for the token trader, and that's another kind of disappointing area if you ask me. So going into faction guardians, you see here like they're using dwarves. Basically they've got their dupe mollies here. You feed in your dupe legendaries to this system and you're able to get little bonuses here, plus 10 HP, plus 10 attack. I actually kind of like what they're doing with this part of the system. I don't like the fact that you're going to have to hang on to more duplicates now, which is going to eat up your vault space, which is already at a premium. And of course, if they do add more vault space, you're going to have to spend more silver and gems and in-game resources in order to expand that even more. But this is kind of a nice little feature. I think more so for newer players who will have the duplicate epics, the duplicate rares. I think people more toward the end game, this is really going to be kind of an extra bonus for PvE content. And as I've said in the past, I've not really seen any other content creator mention this, but when they did bring this up at first, I specifically asked them, is future content going to be balanced based around this system and the empowerment system of having those more powerful champions? And the answer to that question was yes. So I see a lot of people asking about that. I did get that answer from the actual community manager in the content creator chat, and obviously that could change over time, but for the time being, I'm pretty sure they're going to be balancing future PvE content in this game around having these empowered champions and having these faction bonuses. So you want to keep that in mind as you go through. But so far from what I've seen, this is looking like the best use of your duplicates. which is kind of hilarious because we just wanted a duplicate system that was simple, where we could just trade 2 or 3 or 4 legendaries and get another one for our duplicates. And instead we got this massively complex system, which is causing all kinds of drama and reactions in the community now. So it's very interesting that they decided to go this route. This just kind of shows you where you can assign from your duplicate champions, and this kind of just shows you can get the faction guardian. This is where the bonuses will show up on your total stats page for whatever champion you're using, and that'll kind of combine in there with the Great Hall, which is kind of nice. So then they have this new empowerment system, which this has got everybody in an uproar right now. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's only going to apply for the very, very high level, like Krakens and Cthulhu's and whatnot, or people who spend like thousands of dollars in the game, which is probably true for the most part. Where this is really going to have an effect is going to be up into the areas of Platinum Arena. But I will warn people, I say this a lot of the times when they bring out systems like this, this will eventually trickle down into Gold 4 and into Tag Team Arena. I have a real fear about that. Tag Team Arena is already almost impossible to advance in. I'm trying to push up into Gold 1 in Tag Team Arena right now. I'm currently in Silver 3, and it's like Silver 3. I have 3 speed leads that are like 330 to 340, and I still can't go first in any fight in Silver 3. My first page on Silver 3 today was basically all double hedgy teams, Sify with double Rotos, and it's like you simply can't win. Like, I got through Silver 2 really no issue, but then as soon as I got to Silver 3, it's like, holy crap. So Tag Team Arena is already a mess. It's already difficult to progress there, and you can see here with some of these bonuses that they're going to get at +4. You got 40% HP, 40% defense, 55 resistance, 10% crit rate, 40% attack, 15 more speed, 55 more accuracy, and 30% more crit damage. So anybody that's got a lot of duplicates, and I know a lot of content creators that have several copies of the most, the best meta champions. There's Mega Whales that have 7 Kaimars and 5 Trundas. So those are going to be the new sharks in Platinum Arena. Anybody who can get a full team basically of +4. Now I'll be able to max my Lydia, and I think the only other champion I really have that's worth investing in this is Ray. I have one duplicate of Ray, so I'll be able to make her +1. So she's probably going to wind up replacing Ethos as my Arena Nuker for the time being, because these stats are going to be pretty good even at the base levels. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch what happens at the top end of Arena with this, especially with some of the gear that's coming later on, which we'll talk about. But I'm just imagining a Duchess, a +4 Duchess, with like a +4 Suga Warcaller. I mean, nothing's going to die. And, obviously you can skip defenses, but it's going to be so crazy with all the people that have the +4 Sifis, the Duchess, all that stuff. I mean, who are you going to skip? You're going to have to eventually take those fights, and they're going to take forever. It's going to lead to more time played in the game, which I don't think anybody really wants. And eventually what's going to happen is the lower spending whales who don't have all these dupes are eventually going to get pushed out of Platinum, and they're going to fall down in the Gold 4 and push everybody else down lower. So it really would not shock me if, after this has been out for a couple months, you start to see people with +2, +3, etc. Empowered champions in the upper ends of Gold 4. And again, this is like, it just makes it so much more difficult for people that are starting the game, who are coming up through the game trying to finish their Arbiter missions, or if you're trying to get Ramontu, Drake's Blood, trying to go through 3v3 Arena with having to deal with these champions now. It's going to make it a mess for those who really are like mid-game, mid-level spenders, or, just starting off, free to play, etc. There's just some more shots here. They take a look at the powering the champions and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm not too sure it's going to be a great system. I don't think really any of us are going to get much use out of it though, because you're going to have to weigh the option of, do you want to feed your duplicates in, or do you want to use them in the Guardian ring to get more stats for the overall faction. So there's going to be a lot of things. And again, it's like I said, we just wanted a simple dupe system to make it not feel as bad to pull a dupe champion and just be able to like trade a couple of them in. Instead, we get this crazy system they put out. It's like Plarium listens, but they don't listen to everything that we actually want, and then they give us things that no one asked for, and they kind of create all this drama themselves. They're just very poor at communicating and taking communication from the community. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that empowerment system. But again, I don't think it's really going to apply to anybody but the upper 1 to 2% of people that spend on this game. I mean, I myself personally have been playing the game for 2 years, I probably spent between $2,000 and $3,000, which is not much on raid, considering what a lot of other people spend. And I don't have many dupes at all. Visix, I have, I've pulled 5 Visix, and I have 3 Raglans, and those are the most I have of any duplicate. And to me, it's not even worth making a +2 Raglan. I don't even know what I would use that for. I'd rather put them all into the Banner Lords and get those bonuses. And I can make a +1 Ray. I've got some other dupes like a King Garog and some other useless legendaries, but for me, it's kind of like, I'm not going to use this empowerment system for really more than like 2 characters. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So now we have the Unbind champions, which basically you can come in here and you can unbind any of your duplicate legendary champions that you have, and you can exchange them for life tokens. So what they do show is they do show Skull Lord here being worth 50 life tokens. And this appears to be just a flat, every legendary that you have, regardless of affinity, is going to give you 500 life tokens. Which, when you see the next screen here, it's going to make you realize it's really not a great thing. So if you want to unbind them, you go in here, you click it, you feed your legendary into the system, you lose it, and you get 500 life tokens. So let me go to the token trader, and now you can see the values that on the exchange rate. Which, as I've said the last time they mentioned this, I was like, there's no way it's going to be favorable to the player. It's going to be absolutely awful. You've got Manaya, who really I don't see too many people going for her, is going to cost you 5 duplicate legendaries. And again, it's like, who would use this? I don't know, I just don't see anybody. Even like the people that have all these legendaries, like the mega endgame whales, they're not going to use this. They've already got these champions. They don't need a Fushan or a Foley or a Tomb Lord. Or Sir Nick, who's kind of been power crept out quite a bit at this point. But when I saw this originally, I really was looking forward to finally getting Foley. He's one of the champions I really, really want. He's just a great champion for Arena that I was really hoping to get. Even a Fushan, I've never pulled him before. Those were the 2 I was interested in most. But looking at this, I'm like, there's no way on earth I'm going to trade in 6 legendaries for one of these guys. I'll just put them, again, up into the Faction Guardians. It's just not worth it to me. I mean, it's just such a terrible exchange on value for what you pulled. I mean, it's tough to pull 6 legendaries and then having to just trade them in for 1, even though they're halfway decent. I just don't see the use for this system. And this was supposed to be for, again, like early game, mid game players that are coming up to the game. Basically, they pull a dupe legendary. It feels terrible. It's like, oh, I'm trying to progress my account and I got a dupe legendary of some trash champion that I don't really need. It'd be great if I could just take those 2 or 3 and go trade them in for something. But now it's like you need 6 legendaries, 5 at the minimum to get Manaya. It's just, who is this for? I just don't see how this is going to get used by anyone in the game. Most people, again, you're going to use the Faction Guardian system, or you're going to go ahead and empower that champion. It's not worth trading in 4 or 5 duplicate legendaries to get one of these legendaries when you can just make that one like +4 and probably make it better than anything you can get here. So again, it's kind of like the only thing I think most people are going to wind up using are Faction Guardians. I think the empower is going to be for like 2% of the player base. And Unbind is probably not going to be used by anybody. Because the people that can use it don't need any of these, and the people that need to use it aren't going to have enough legendaries to trade in, and it's just a terrible exchange rate. So, really don't see the point in that system at all. No one's going to pay 4,000 life tokens to get Sir Nick. It just seems really kind of silly. They talked about quality of life, basically. You're going to get some stuff, I'm not going to really go over this too much. Basically, they're going to make it easier to level up champions in the tavern. And there's going to be some extra sorting options for gear when you're going there. And they basically talk about here that Shadowkin faction will be coming out pretty soon, and that if you want to try to get Lydia, you better get her pretty quick. So once this launches, you're going to have to then complete Shadowkin on top of everything else in order to get Lydia there. So it's kind of like what they're talking about there. They do kind of show here the little slider with the bruise, which this still doesn't really solve the issue of if you want to feed in other champions. This just solves the issue of using your bruise to level them up. So let's say you're going to level somebody up with a bunch of uncommons and commons. You still got to sit there and click through all 6 and then do the animation. So this is kind of like a half fixed, like 50%. Like they didn't quite get all the way. They got like halfway there. So that doesn't really help a whole lot there. And I don't believe they said anything about being able to put more than 6 books into a champion at a time. So I don't know if this is going to be the only change. That's all they highlighted was being able to use the slider bar. I hope that's not the only improvement, because that's really it's nice, but it's not going to be anything crazy. And here they kind of do show where you can sort by rarity and by star, which I actually am kind of looking forward to this. It'll make it a lot easier to sell gear when you accidentally keep some of these 4 and 5 star pieces if you're later in the game. It'll help you look for gear a little bit easier, so that's kind of cool. They're going to give you more battles. You can now get 15, I think, team setups, and they're also going to allow you to change the way that your champions perform in these battles. So like you can actually control how their AI works in each round of the battle. So that's kind of nice. But again, I'm not going to cover this stuff too much. I wanted to really just get into what is this here? Oh yeah. So they talked about this something. There's going to be some kind of new system in arena battles. They don't really show it on screen here though, so you can't really tell. And I guess there's going to be some kind of bar on the champions that shows their resistance, and you're able to wear that down over the time of a battle. And it's kind of funny because they show this battle in Platinum at 32 seconds. That's not how battles last that long in Platinum. If they're lasting that long, you're probably skipping the fight. But yeah, it's like, I don't think that's going to come into account considering how quickly arena battles are usually over. So I'm not quite sure what that's going to do. There's new champions coming into the game. I don't really care about any of that stuff. So anyways, the next big part of this is going to be the Hydra Clan Boss. So this actually looks kind of cool. There's some things about this that I kind of like. There's some other things that I don't like about the mechanics, but you've got the new Hydra Boss. They basically do show this area here. It's kind of interesting because they do have this whole entire right side over here with a straight up copy of the Iosauron up here. It basically looks like there's going to be possibly a third clan boss added in at some point in the Great Void, whatever this is. But right now we are going to have the Hydra. Now the cool thing about the Hydra is there's only 3 keys that you're going to have to use, and the Hydra will only be it'll be available for like a whole entire week. It's not like the clan boss. It's not going to reset daily. It's going to reset once a week. You only have 3 keys to use for the entire week. So I think that'll make you kind of have to, I guess, plan it with your clan as to who is going to do what and who's going to hit which one. Now the Hydra does have 6 heads. You're going to have 4 heads originally that it starts off with. There's 2 backup heads that basically will come in as you decapitate the heads on the Hydra. So that's kind of interesting. You know, there's a lot of other people that have covered over what all the heads do, but they're all going to be pretty difficult to fight against, I think. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of team compositions people are going to come up with for this. But then to kind of offset that a little bit, you do get to use 6 champions when you're battling against the Hydra. So that's kind of fun. You get six champions, kind of helps you build a better team that way. There is a catch, though, because once you use one of these champions, you can no longer use them that week on another key. So if you run one key with, say, the 6 they are showing here, you won't be able to run another key with those same champions. Now, I have asked for clarification, but they haven't told us if that applies to duplicates. Like, because my whole idea was, like, let's build 3 super high resistance Doom Priests in Relentless so she can keep cleansing all the crap that comes off the Hydra. But then I'm like, I don't know. You know, can you just, if you use the one Doom Priest, does that mean you can't use any of your Doom Priests the rest of the way? Or does that mean you can use your duplicates? So I kind of asked them to clarify that. I don't know if they will. So it'll be interesting to see how that system works once it comes out. But so basically it's going to lock out any champion you use on that key. They did show some screenshots here of the boss battle, which does look pretty cool. You've got this pretty nice area here. You've got all the Hydra heads that do come up here that you'll be fighting against. Each Hydra head is going to obviously have different abilities. You're going to be able to actually decapitate the heads as you go, and that will apply different passive effects to the fight. But the Hydra heads do regenerate. It's kind of like the clan boss here. You can't actually kill it. You can take the HP bar down all the way for the week, and that's when your different rewards are going to come into effect. But the one thing they did show, I don't know if I can find it here. There's a part where one of the Hydra heads actually can eat your champion. It's in here somewhere. See, they just kind of go over all the different ones here. I'm trying to find the spot where it shows, because a little green bar comes up on their HP. So what basically happens is the Hydra will eat one of your champions. And then you have, okay, here it is. So you see this Hydra right here. It's got a little green bar. Basically what happened was the champion over here on the right, you can see is missing. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 champions here. So the 6th champion got eaten by this Hydra. So you can see here you've got, it's digesting. It's like a digesting buff icon. And so as long as that green bar is there, if you can decapitate that Hydra head before, or I think you just have to get the green health down. If you can get that green health down before it fully finishes these three turns, you can get your champion back onto the battlefield, which is kind of cool. This reminds me a little bit of the really annoying Rancor raid in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where the Rancor would just randomly decide to delete one of your champions whenever it wanted to, which was really, really annoying. You could have zero control over it. And kind of the same thing here. I don't really like the mechanic. I do like the fact that you can get it back, though, but once you lose that champion, you can't revive them while they're in the stomach, and you can't revive them after that green bar goes away, and you can't get them back. So, going to be an interesting mechanic. I guess the way they showed it, it can just happen at random. So I don't like even more RNG added in, especially if it takes like your if you've got your cleanser in there and it eats your cleanser, you're just completely screwed for the rest of the fight. So it's an interesting way to throw more randomness into it. I'm not really sure. I'm a super big fan of that. But that's just pretty much the Hydra. It's kind of neat. It is a very cool looking boss. They do show some of the different things. Although I did notice on one of these screens it showed the time was like at 9 minutes already. So I think this is going to be another big time-consuming thing in the game, which is unfortunate. There's 17 minutes right there at 114 turns. So this looks like another thing where it's going to be like if you run an unkillable or something on Clan Boss and you're already spending 20 minutes in the game, you're going to have to do it again for this. But again, thankfully it's only 3 times a week, so hopefully that won't be too bad. And it's going to have chests just like the regular clan boss. So your clan is going to have to decide what they're going to hit. And it did show that there are these rewards. You can get the clan gold, the clan XP. It's going to drop gear. And then it's also going to drop fragments for this very specific new champion who looks pretty cool. She's like a Medusa. Mithrala Lifebane. Interesting name for her, but she looks pretty neat. I'm guessing she's a dark elf based on the background. And she's going to have some new petrification debuff, which can turn people to stone. And they mentioned that some of the Hydra heads have that as well. So it will be kind of cool to see what that is. But great design by the art department. They usually do a pretty good job with this. So they did a lot of just the detail with the snake heads and everything. They did some really cool stuff here with this. And also how her eyes are like a gray, almost like her eyes are made of stone. So pretty cool new champ they've got coming in. Should be kind of interesting to see how she functions here. Now they do go into these 2 new artifact sets that they're going to be coming up with, which have some pretty crazy effects. I know the one is called Stone Skin. I can't remember what the bottom one is called. But basically, they're going to have these different... You see here, it's a set of 4. But from what I remember reading is this is actually now a new artifact set type, where you can get these mythical artifacts. And basically, you can see here it says 4 out of 6 artifacts per set. So you get a bonus for equipping a single item all the way up through 6. And we can see the set bonuses here. So if you put... this is the protection set. So if you get 1 on there, it's plus 20 resistance. If you get 2, it's plus 20 resistance, plus 15% HP. 3 pieces gives you speed. 4 gives you the chance to place this protected buff. And then if you get all 6, it gives you another 15% chance. So look at the speed bonuses. Look at this stuff here. And like they were showing like the one set. It was basically equivalent to having, I think it's the Stone Skin set. Is you basically can get all these set bonuses as well. HP, resistance, defense. Stone Skin for 1 turn, which is basically you can't take any damage. It's almost like reaction gear all over again. And then if you get it all the way out, you get 30% defense and 2 turns worth of the Stone Skin buff, which can basically go in there and give you all those different buffs and things. So really interesting. And they talked about the mythical artifacts here as well. This is going to be a new artifact type above legendary, which these will start off with 1 substat already at a legendary level. So like the minimum, like whatever the best roll you could get for the first speed roll, it'll start off with that stat instead of just like the 4 or the 5. And you'll have a chance to roll more speed. Like if you rolled the 1 roll of speed on a legendary artifact, usually you'd get like 11 or 12 speed. Now you can get 17. So even with a bad roll, so it's like this has the opportunity with these 2 sets. Again, my main concern with all of this is going to be for Arena. We've already seen reaction gear causing a lot of problems in Arena. And now you're going to have these sets that give you basically double reaction. They make your champions very tanky. Couple that with the empowerment system and the ability now for these mythical substats, which are, going to pump the speed and some of the other numbers up through the ceiling. it's just cause for a little bit of concern here. And here's a look at the chest you can get that drops from the Hydra. So that's an interesting look there. But yeah, interesting update. Like I said, I didn't go over too much of the little stuff. And again, my main concern with this is how it's going to affect Gold 4, or how it's going to affect Tag Team Arena, because they're throwing in so much stuff that's going to power creep Arena, which at first is only going to really apply to the top percentage of players, but eventually that's going to lead to a trickle down, as I mentioned before. The whales who don't spend as much as the mega whales, they're going to eventually get pushed out of Platinum, and where are they going to go? Well, they're either going to quit the game, or they're going to be in Gold 4, ruining your day. So you kind of have to realize that they're going to be in Gold. Tag Team Arena, making things difficult. So that's kind of some things to be concerned about. My other concern with this is that we're going to see another shift in clans. When Clan vs. Clan first started, we did see a lot of people that got kicked out of their clan for not spending money to win the Clan vs. Clan matchup. We saw a lot of people moving clans. And again, they've tied a very important artifact set into being able to complete this Hydra Boss. So what you're going to see here is probably, again, more of the top-end players are going to consolidate into clans, because they're going to want to go for this, just like they want the reaction gear. They're going to want these 2 new stats with the stone skin and the protection. And it could lead to some lower level clans seeing some of their top members leave, leads to their clan falling apart. You never like to see that. I hate it when they do things like that that could kind of tear apart the community in some ways. So my 2 main concerns overall, basically that we're going to see some clan turmoil over this Hydra Boss, and also we're going to see some problems with empowerment eventually trickle down into the higher levels of Arena, which would not be fun for a lot of people. But overall, kind of a, I don't know, middle of the road update. It's always nice to get new content. The Hydra Boss is going to be fun. It's going to be something new for us to figure out with team compositions. Again, another small issue there is you're going to have to come up with 18 new champions that are built for this boss, unlike with Clan Boss where you need 5. And, with all the stuff going on in the game, you get Doom Tower, Faction Wars, now having 2 clan bosses, Arena teams, if you want to compete in 3v3, you've got to have at least, 6, 3 strong defense teams, 3 strong attack teams, even more in some cases, depending on what level you're in. We're getting to a point where you just need so much now in the game. And one thing that's funny to me is they've done such a good job this year of causing drama and distractions that everyone's basically forgot about the 2 big issues that they were complaining about in the game last year and earlier this year. And that's basically that there's no way to get a ton of silver, and there's no way to get books. So it's kind of funny to me how that's all been swept under the rug. No one even asks about that anymore, but you're going to be needing a ton of resources now to compete in all these different areas. You're going to need champions that are booked out to do this content, because I'm guessing this content is going to be harder. And as I mentioned, they are going to be using that empowerment system to sort of base off of when they create new PvE content going forward. So got to keep all these things in mind. But yeah, interesting update. Some things I'm looking forward to, some things I'm not so looking forward to. The dupe system, again, I think is just a huge swing and a miss. I made a separate video on that earlier in the year where I talked about it it being completely not what anyone asked for, and it's going to have some problems. So I think we're still at that point right now. I don't think empowerment's good. I don't think the token system's good at all. So really the only good part that came out of it is basically instead of a duplicate system, you're getting a system where you need more duplicates to take advantage of it. So that's kind of counterproductive, and it's just going to take up more vault space for players. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Sorry it ran so long. As always, if you have any questions or anything, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Tell me what you think about this. If you think this is a huge miss, or if you like the update, let me know your thoughts down below. As always, I do try to take feedback to Plarium, even though they don't listen to it 99% of the time. So, we do what we can. But as always, guys, hope you're having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.